Hey guys, I'm Anthony and welcome to a very special edition of My Life Off Wheels, Cooking Nothing Fancy with Anthony. Today guys, I'm going to be fixing a very simple but delicious meal. I fixed this meal last week and it was so good that I decided that I wanted to make it again this week. So, let's get into these ingredients. I'm going to be using chicken breast tenderloins this week. Last week I used chicken thighs. You guys know that I'm a big fan of chicken thighs, but this is what I had on tap for this week. You're also going to need some chicken broth, 1 pack of the Lipton onion mushroom. Now I am going to take a shortcut with the rice and I'm going to be using my boiling bags, my jasmine rice boiling bags. You're also going to be needing 2 cans of cream of chicken with herbs and whatever seasonings you decide to use to season your chicken with. Alright guys, so let's get to it. Alright, I'm going to be using some of these work gloves, if I can get my hands in them, to deal with this chicken, because I've made videos in the past, cooking videos in the past, and gotten some comments about cross-contamination, and so I have some work gloves, so I figured, okay, whew, I should have got these in a large. Wowza. Alright, so let's get to seasoning some of this chicken. Now this is a big pack. I'm not going to use all of these, because that would be chicken for days. Let me lower you guys down, because that would be way too much chicken for 1 serving. So I'm just going to use a few of them, maybe half, or maybe I'll cut them in half. Well, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to use all of them and I'm just going to cut them in half. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm going to go ahead and try to dry these off some. And then I'll go ahead and cut them in half. Might not be a good idea with this napkin under them. Alright. Not a good idea. Let's just go with the cutting board. Alright, we're going to cut these in half. And then we're going to give it a nice little seasoning on them. Now, I only use 3 seasonings now, which is a simple seasoning, salt and pepper. I mean, no salt. Well, I do have some salt. Oh boy. Okay, now that they're all cut in half, I'm going to go ahead and do some seasoning on them with some pepper. Might as well get my cutting board all messed up. Get some use out of it. Some Lawry's. Use a good amount of seasoning, but this meal is packed with seasoning all throughout, using the chicken stock, the cream of chicken, so you don't really have to, if you don't want to, go all crazy with your seasoning, because you know we like our seasoning. We don't like no bland food. Alright, and here's something that's going to trip you guys out, because I go to the movies a lot and I have not bought like actual salt in my house for, wow, almost a year now probably. So when I go to the movie theaters, I take a handful of their salt. Yep, I take a handful of their salt. And it's been keeping me going for quite a while. It's a lot of salt coming in these packets. Hey, as much as it costs to go to the movies, you think I have a conscience about taking some of their salt? Absolutely not. Alright guys, so what we're going to do now that the chicken is seasoning, we're going to get everything in here and put the chicken in last. So by that I mean, let's start with our cream of chicken. Now this is really thick, but it will come out with a little tug. Oh, that came out really good. 2 cans. And I'm gonna tell you guys, after this come out the oven, it is going to make the most delicious sauce for the chicken. Alright, there we go. That came out pretty good. Now a lot of people will probably put a little water in there and get a little extra. You don't need that. That's what you got your chicken stock for. Alright. I'm going to use this. And you want to go ahead, well you actually can go ahead and put your mushroom packet in there as well. I'll clean all that up later. And then what I like to do at this point is go ahead and get this mixed up before I actually put my chicken stock in. Now if you want to, you can go ahead and put your chicken stock in at this point. I mean, it's not going to make a difference. But I like to go ahead and get the onion mixed in with the cream of chicken. Alright. Nice. There you go. See that? Now this is definitely going to thin it out to help make that nice sauce. Because there's nothing like making a sauce and you don't have enough of the sauce to put over your rice. So this is what you want to have this chicken stock for. You want to thin it out. Oh Lord, come on with the heavy mixing. Take it easy, Anthony. Take it easy. Now you want to put enough chicken stock in there so that you can see that the cream of mushroom is thinning out a little bit. And don't go all heavy-handed with the stirring like I just now did. And half of it end up on a cutting board. You'll get a pretty good idea of the consistency that you want. Now I have my oven already on, preheating. Because like I said, you don't want it to be too thick or too thin. Alright, I like the consistency of that. You can take a look at it in between cooking if you want to see whether you need to add a little more chicken stock or not. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my chicken in here. And I'm going to go ahead and mix all of this up in here. You want to make sure all the chicken is coated. And you really want the chicken to be submerged into the sauce. And if it's not submerged in there, you want to go ahead and put a little more chicken stock in there. Because as you can see, I put the chicken in there. And I would like the sauce to come a little bit above the chicken. So I'm going to add a little more chicken stock. And I think this is going to do it right here. Alright, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. Because it's going to thin out even more once the heat hit it. Alright, there we go. Get it nice and even in the pan. Excellent. Excellent. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and put some aluminum foil on top of that. Get it nice and tight around the edges. And what you want to do is take a fork and punch a couple of holes in it. Maybe about 4 of them is enough. And then we're going to go ahead and throw this in the oven. Now last week when I made this, I checked on it after a half an hour. I checked on it after half an hour and decided, checked on where the chicken looked and decided whether I wanted to keep it in there a little longer or it was done. And at that point, I did keep it in there for about 15 minutes extra, but I'll do the same thing again this week. Now that my chicken is in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and get my boiling bag rice in. These are so much easier and so much convenient. It's okay to take a shortcut, guys. So I'm going to fix just like I did last week because it lasted me pretty good and it was pretty even with the portions and how much I made of the chicken. I'm going to use 3 bags of the boiling bag rice. Alright guys, get this going. Now this thing seems to always boil over, so I'm going to just go ahead and, even with the design of this top, which in my opinion is supposed to prevent this stuff from boiling over, this doesn't do that well. So I'm going to go ahead and cock it up a little bit so that it does not overspill. Because I'll be in there sitting down and next thing I hear this psst, where it has come out of the pot and all over the place. But anyway guys, I got the chicken in, I got the boiling bag rice in, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So guys, it's been about 35 minutes that the chicken has been in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and pull it out and see how it looks. The rice is done now, so let me do that. Careful not to burn yourself. There's a lot of steam. Wow, look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Oh yes, look at that. I love the consistency of this sauce. And if you look at the chicken, you can see that it is white. It's plumped up now. The chicken is going to continue to cook because the whole platter is still nice and hot. So you don't want to overcook your chicken. So make sure you take it out at a decent time and let it sit, of course, to cool off. Because you guys know I am famous for tasting hot food. So I won't be doing that today. Oh, this looks delicious. I hope you guys can get the full view of it. I think that you can. Alright guys, I'm not going to taste this because it's way too hot right now. But this is going to wrap it up for today's special Sunday edition of My Life Off Wheels, Cooking Nothing Fancy with Anthony. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for taking a few minutes out of your day to watch my videos. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys the next time.